Hello everyone, I have here the first series of Mega Construx individual figure packs. These are kind of like the Halo Heroes series figures, but done for Call of Duty. Some of them have named characters and some of them are unnamed characters, but all of them are special figures. They have more work done on them than normal, more paint applications and such. So I'm going to take these out and give you a look at each one by one. First up, Captain Price. A very memorable character, though one of the more fake voices of the entire Call of Duty franchise. More on that in a minute. This is not the first Captain Price that we've gotten. The previous one had the wide-brimmed hat. But I have to apologize, and unfortunately the state of my Call of Duty figures collection is an absolute disaster. It is not in a state where I can just go through and pick out the figures that we've gotten before to give you a comparison, because they're all just in one big bin and parts have fallen off. It's a shame, it's a travesty. So sorry about that, but at least we can take a good look at the details on this one. He does not have dead eyes completely, so rather than using holes, they did use paint applications for the pupils, kind of, or the irises, I guess. They look like huge pupils. Looks better from a distance, but still would have looked even better still with two paint applications to get a little bit of cornea in there as well. They did really well with the eyebrows, and I think the masking of the facial hair and hair in general is done well, as is the masking around the visor, the goggles that he's got around his knit cap right now. He's got a paint app on his left upper leg, and they also put the Union Jack emblem on the right upper arm there, just in black. The LMG that he's holding on to is actually a silver assembly. It's all silver. They just put super heavy wash on it. Super, just greasy looking. If it didn't have so much shine on it, it would look more kind of stone washed gunmetal, but everything on this figure I'd say is a little bit on the shiny side. I guess the upper arms aren't bad. They're a little bit more satin, but most of the figure is just a little bit too shiny for my tastes. The funny thing about the voice for this character, the voice actor, is Steve Blum, who has done so many things that I actually have a bunch of figures of other characters that he has voiced. He did one or more of these guys, also does this guy presently. He did both of these, and he was this guy, and so much more. Next up, this figure is simply called Jet Pilot. I personally have not played enough Call of Duty through the years to be able to directly identify this one where it came from. So folks watching the video, if you want to help a brother out by leaving a comment with a positive identification of the source of this particular figure or particular character, unnamed character, which Call of Duty that this person was in or would have been in, that would be much appreciated. It'd be good for other viewers to see that. But this is a good figure, a good looking figure. For one that is not named, has that nice insignia on the left arm there, and the helmet has multiple paint applications, multiple colors, is looking very good, and looks especially good when you look at it from the top. Look at that. Another set of paint applications there. I mean, these are just sponged on or stamped on, but a lot of different colors there, and it looks good, nice and sharp there, even though it goes across kind of a compound curve. They do have a little bit of over stamping there. Just a couple of spots can be touched up pretty easily, but that looks very nice. And he's got his Chris Vector with not my favorite skin on that. It's a kind of metallic blue marbling camo over the gray or silver, but a good looking weapon nonetheless. And yeah, I think this one is worth it. It's very displayable, and I'm assuming that they'll be coming out with more planes in the future in the line, with actual buildable things. So this will be a good one to put with others, or you can just put it with the Harrier for now if you have that. Here's another unnamed character, just the Arctic Sniper, with a white-based version of the ghillie suit, which to me is not as convincing as the previous one they did, not because of the color scheme so much as just how obvious to me the base is of the front right here. You've got that horizontal line since they don't do the paint application of the kind of drab color, the kind of foliage color down below on the body that you can see behind there. But beyond that, it's pretty good. It's all using soft pieces for the suit itself, so this is all flexible stuff. This is actually fused to the head, so you cannot remove this from the head. You may recognize the head mold under there, and that one does have a paint application on it as well. This has a nice insignia that's stamped onto the side. This is another one where if you true fans can help out in the comments identifying exactly which game this was in which scenario, that would be nice to see. But see, around the back, this looks really good. That is some nice detailing work all the way down there. That easily could have been just too muddled, but it's not. The one thing I don't like there is the little part number that's on the base that's printed onto it. But beyond that, very good. Very nice bolt action sniper rifle, and you can start to see it. I didn't push the pieces together quite well enough, but the upper receiver and the barrel and the rail is all a separate assembly, but it's a separate assembly that can then be taken apart partially, so you can take the scope off. You've got the suppressor out here which can be taken off, and see, all of this is all together just to give you an additional color that's very distinct in there. Look at that, they got the flash hider, suppressor at the hider, I guess, at the end. And get this back on there. Also has the small magazine down below, just a very short one, and the bipod adapter, and that has a nice paint application as well, going all the way around the entire main stock, and that goes on both sides. It's just, it's a green color. It looks a little bit metallic to me. It goes around both sides, and it looks pretty good. Even just as is, I think that this would look really especially good if you do a little work of your own to just touch some things up, like the optics, add a little color behind that, a little darkness down the barrel. This could start to look pretty darn realistic. This is Sergeant Frank Woods. A lot of folks say this guy looks like Rambo from a distance as a toy, but unfortunately this one has a little bit of damage. He's lost the tip of his nose and a little bit of his mustache there. I got this, I believe it was off Amazon, so I didn't have the ability to look at the individual figure in advance and make sure I got a good one. This is rare to see, especially given that the packaging is pretty good for these, but I'm assuming that the damage occurred when it was being placed in the package at the factory, so that's unfortunate, but I will be able to just touch that up a little bit. Hopefully I'll get a fine print or fine tip brown Sharpie marker or something like that. Lots of good paint applications on this one. On the arms, we've got some weathering going on the old school NAM era M16 there, and he's got the tat on the left forearm as well. Huge backpack on this one. Just a single piece for that. Just fits into the normal hole and has a couple of the rectangular pegs on the back as well as one on the side for attaching additional things if you want to make them even more overloaded than this. And aside from the mistake on this one, which I don't think is going to be very common actually, this is looking pretty good. The prints are good, the paint applications are good, the molds are correct, and yeah, I think that this one is set up pretty well. Just unfortunate that I got unlucky with this one. I say, you buy online, sometimes that happens. I could send it back, but I won't. The combat diver looks really funny from a distance because his mouthpiece looks like a big open mouth. When you get up closer, then it starts to make more sense. They're actually going for some realism, whereas from a distance it looks like it's rather comic. That printing there, or paint application, is done in almost a copper color, as is the oxygen tank. Down at the base of the rebreather unit has a very small double seahorse insignia that's printed onto the front, and he has a matching insignia with just one seahorse over here on the left upper arm, done in gold. There's a combat knife that's attached over there. He's got his carbine or carbine, whichever totally correct pronunciation you use is all good. I don't care, but a very nice color on that one with multiple colors put together to give it a little bit of wear kind of look. And also has the suppressor on the end of it. They've got some seams that are printed on to the arm with that lighter color of kind of bluish gray. Also on the upper leg there. And yeah, that's just that. You can see the line continues around on this upper arm on this side as well. And it's just covered up on the other leg with the strap. It holds on to the knife, and has the little simulated extra bullets on one side and the extra magazine on the other. It's the whole thing is removable as one, but you can't take the individual things off there. You also cannot remove the mask for this guy, so there's no face underneath there, and that's just the way it's been for all of these. So this is just an extra special version of this figure that we've gotten since the very first wave of the Call of Duty stuff. This one's just extra fancy. He also comes with his flippers, his dive fins. A pair of those just fit onto the base of the feet like they have always done before. And when you put those on, then you're not able to attach it to a studded surface anymore, because these don't have stud-sized holes on the base of them. But speaking of base, I'm not sure if you noticed this before, the base for this one that comes with this one, it's actually transparent, kind of translucent. It's like a smoky black color, so it lets most of the light come through. It's supposed to represent kind of a watery substrate for him, something a little different. I feel like I may have accidentally saved the best for last. This is the Mine Specialist, World War II era dude, and an unnamed character, but a good looking one with some new pieces. So he has the period appropriate metal detector there, which is hooked up to a wire to the saddle bag, which is all one piece with the strap. Both of those pieces, the strap and the bag itself, and then also the connector wire, are done in silicone, so very, very soft pieces, very flexible. And it's just a standard hard ABS plastic single piece for the metal detector itself, which is all just period appropriate. Looks good. And the paint applications on the figure look good to me as well. The colors look good. Again, if folks are very familiar with the subject matter would care to chime in, that'd be much appreciated. Identifying which military force this guy came from. I don't know if he's British. I'm assuming that if he was in the North African campaign, that he would be wearing shorts. I don't know, it depends on the exact era and rank and all, but could he be Australian? I just personally don't know, but if you have positive identification of that, please let me know. Hopefully the insignia on the helmet and also the design, the type of helmet, will help you out with that. He's got the Manchester SMG, which is also period appropriate, has the horizontal magazine, which is rather long. It has a hole in it to allow you to attach that to things like this. It's that standard size hole. It's a little bit awkward in that way, but you can attach that there, and then you can attach the weapon itself to one of those sorts of points. This has two different colors on it, different color for the stock, and that's just a print, that's printed on it to get the different color. The main color is just a gunmetal gray, so that one looks pretty good as well. And good rank printing on the left shoulder there. Two colors for that, nice and crisp. Not a lot to see from around the back, just kind of seeing the detail of the vest kind of piece, the straps in that darker brown color. But yeah, a good looking one with some new accessories that I think will be pretty well loved by folks who are not just Call of Duty fans, probably more so folks who are not Call of Duty fans and are just into World War II era, war stuff in general. So that does it for Series 1 of the, can I just call it Call of Duty Heroes? I mean, in line with the Halo Heroes. I don't think Mega has actually come up with an official name for this series of series. They just say it's Series 1 of something. But yeah, I'm just going to call them Call of Duty Heroes until someone else corrects me on that. Let me know which of these is your personal favorite. I've already kind of let you know that the Mine Specialist is my personal favorite, but I'm definitely going to be putting Captain Price in second place there. Partially because of the voice actor, partially because of the character itself, but also partially because of the figure, fortunately. I also like that that jet pilot. I mean, all of these are pretty good, but those are my top 3 at least. Let me know your favorite one or your top 3 if you'd like to. And again, any comments that you have about specific identification of anything that you've seen here, or just your general thoughts about these figures and how they're finished and what you think about their value. So thank you for watching. Hope that you've enjoyed this. Hope that I showed you everything that you wanted to see about these figures. I'll be talking to you again soon.